Paul Boomsma, it's really a pleasure and an honor to have him here. He really, the luxury portfolio part of leading RE is his brainchild and his baby, and he developed it. And now there's other staff that do a lot of it, but we have Paul to thank for the fact that this program even exists, and it's been great for us in the less than a year that we've had it.
So as Mark said, I've been doing this for a while, and Luxury Portfolio was really the result of working with people like you. So as Mark mentioned, we've known each other for a while. I was with a company called Koenig & Stray, which was in Chicago, and I was hired there when they were really focusing into the luxury market. So I've never sold, but I've gone out on many, many listing presentations, many price reductions, many relists. Leading RE is 500 firms around the world. We're 53 countries right now, 3,500 offices, 120,000 sales associates. So it's actually more than any other real estate organization or franchise. One of the things that we love, over 1 million transactions, 321 billion in sales, and 41% of the top markets in the US are with us. So if you're wondering, why am I at Dilbeck? Because you're in the right place. This is definitely where consumers are going. And I don't know if you follow other industries, but we always look at what's going on. Starwood Hotels, which is St. Regis and W and Westin's, they just launched a new brand called Tribute. And Tribute is all about embracing independent brands because they know that the millennials would really rather deal with something that's more authentic and local. So the other thing about our organization, and I'll talk about this a little bit when it comes to the global, why does global matter and why does being part of a larger organization matter? It's really about the idea that you're going to get buyers from other places, right? Because you want to be connected to something bigger than yourself. You're already very strong here with Dilbeck in the local market, but you want to have something bigger than that on a national and global footprint. So one of the things that we are really, our original mission, if you will, was sending referrals. And we do it better than anybody else. But really, rather than calling it a referral, we call it an introduction. And what we've seen over the last couple of years, we now send a referral somewhere every 4 minutes in the world. And if you're not doing this, you may say, well, I don't really know that many people leaving Pasadena. That's not what it's about. It's about anyone that you know who has someone else in their life that is buying or selling real estate. So it could be your client that you just want to stay in touch with, and you find out their kids are graduating from university somewhere. Say, oh, so now where are they going? Well, they're going to get married. They're going to stay on the East Coast for a little while. Or are they buying a place? Because I'd be happy to help them. Take a quick look at this.
What used to make me uncomfortable about referrals was that I really didn't know who these agents were that I was sending my clients to.
The backbone of our network is and always has been referrals. It's one of the things that makes our brokerages so special because they bring to the table their local expertise, and by connecting them to each other, they can really help their clients globally.
One of the reasons that I'm comfortable referring people out through the relocation process is that the agents on the other end are the same caliber and of the same thought process as me. So given that you know that, why wouldn't you take the time to make that introduction?
This is actually from the NAR study, which is that international business increased again this year by 13%. So last year it was up 12%, this year it's up 13%. So it continues to just go crazy. Last year, 28% of realtors said they had worked with somebody internationally. This year, 35%. And again, what states count for the majority of this business? Florida, California are by far the number 1 and number 2, very close, and then followed by Texas and Arizona. That's more Mexican, that's moving into those states, where Florida and California, Florida's a little bit more European, and you guys are the recipient of the Asian business. 5 countries accounted for it. China is number 1. It's also the most high-end. They have the highest average price coming in. Canada, Mexico, India, and the United Kingdom. So here you can see the chart continues to go up. First-time buyers from China exceeded all the others in terms of units and dollar volume with $28.6 billion worth of property. Buyers from Canada followed. You're Canadian. You had a lot of Canadians buying in the desert cities for a while, and that slowed down a little bit. And you can see here, the only ones here that are going up is China is still pretty much leveling off, but it's still very strong. And Canada has dropped quite a bit. I want to be completely straightforward here. I know that many of your buyers are local, but the reality is the perception of consumers today is that they want you to be global. So if you're not mentioning it, potentially they don't know that you do it. So That's why we cover that. The millennials are pretty much all about themselves. So it's not the me generation, it is the me generation. And one of the things, just for you to remember, what drives them. So if you're wondering, well, what do I need to do to connect with the millennials? This is kind of the takeaway. We did a whole white paper on this, so you can read it, and I think it's pretty insightful. But first of all, they actually like privacy and open space, which sounds like a contradiction. But what they really want is they really want to be able to have lots of open space, so like the open kitchen, the open condominiums, all that sort of thing. But they also like to know that when they're there, there's not a lot of people looking in. They can just have their own little cocoon of space, which I thought was pretty interesting. The other thing is a kitchen for entertaining, master suite and luxury bath. Not surprising, that's pretty this much the same. But then again, we see the same thing coming, outdoor space for entertaining. So what does this mean? They like to entertain. They like to entertain, and they also like to look good because they like not just the master suite with a luxury bath, but they like his and hers closets because they've got a wardrobe to keep going. Dual everything. Walk-in closets, dual sinks, dual toilets, the whole deal. They want their own space in the bathroom. So anyway, these are just the top, but I think they are a little different from some of the folks we've had in the past. Again, like I said, there's a white paper. I'm not going to cover it more, but I think these are the good takeaways for you to remember. They're pretty straightforward, but I think what we found was we kind of dug into them to find out what are the things that really make them tick. So the first one was living. That sounds pretty obvious, doesn't it? But they don't live to work. They work to live. Living is what they're all about. It's all about lifestyle. They're not buying a house because they need a place to stay. They're buying a house because it enhances their lifestyle. They want to have the spa bathroom. They want to have the closets. Whatever it is, the house is designed to enhance their lifestyle all the way through. The other thing is they're very curious. These people grew up with HGTV. So they watch Design on a Dime. They want to know what type of wood it is. They want to know about the HVAC. They want to know about the kitchen cabinets. They're very, very curious. And one of the things they're not afraid to do is to learn. So if you can't tell them, they're going to Google it and find out for themselves. So when you're showing them a property, it's really, if they're going to have the tremendous respect for you if you can give them as much information as possible. And again, a lot of it is in those little details, and they love it if you can educate them on things. So all the way through, anytime you do that is awesome. Love seems simple as well. What this really is about the fact that they have a very small group of people that they trust that their entire life revolves around. In most cases it's family, in some cases it's extended family, and in other cases it's a very small group of friends. But that is everything. And so you kind of have to find out who that is because those are the people that are going to make the decisions. And it may not be the traditional family that you're looking at. Eat. Eat seems like another really obvious one. But for them, food is not just about sustenance, it's an experience. So if you are working with them and you need to stop and get a sandwich if you're showing them a property, don't stop at a Subway. Go somewhere great that has really interesting food because they want to be educated and they really love knowing about what's this food about, who's the chef, what's great about this restaurant. They have no time for Red Lobster or Olive Garden. They're really focusing on what is it that's authentic to this area. And not surprisingly, work. Work is part of their life. It's not their life. So they integrate work in whenever they can, but it's not necessarily the driving part of their life. So it could be they're going to be in their office in the morning, and then they're going to come home the rest of the day, and you say, oh, are you off this afternoon? No, but I don't work in my office all day. I work in my office in the morning, and then I come home and I work from my home office in the afternoon. In their mind, they're still working. Or it could be that they're doing phone calls at night. So work is part of their life. They just work it in when they can, and that's why home offices are a huge deal. And then host. A big part of their fun in life is hosting parties. And again, it integrates the food, it integrates the kitchens, it integrates the outdoor space. But one of the things you might want to say when you're meeting with these people, don't necessarily say, oh, do you love to entertain? Do you entertain a lot? A better question would be I can't think of anybody that would not want to come to a party at this house. Because some of these people have not had the opportunity to entertain. And you don't want to make them feel like they haven't quite arrived yet. Because again, why are they buying the house? To enhance their lifestyle. And if they buy a home that now allows them to entertain, that's enhancing their lifestyle. So what you want to point out, not do you entertain, but this home, I can't think of anybody that wouldn't want to come to a party. Do you see the difference? And then the last thing, play. They do like to have a good time. So all of these other things combine into, again, It's about my life, it's about my lifestyle, and I really like to have fun. So those are the things that you need to think of when dealing with anybody globally, or quite honestly, any of our buyers today. They're not looking for a house, they're looking for a lifestyle and how it's going to enhance the rest of their life.